Hello, this is Andrew, and today is Friday, the 18th, 2012. I just want to talk to you first about silver, ticker symbol SLV. As I stated in my last video, I think it's trading in a channel, and if we look at the 1 hour chart, we can see that it's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until just recently we popped the bottom resistance line of $32.04. And so this could be a trigger point right here. According to my MACD and my stochastic full, it's stating that it's at 19.73%. After the Greek bailout, that's probably going to happen sometime next week around Monday, Tuesday. I think it's going to have one more final push upwards, and then we should see a downwards going forward. And if we look at the day chart, you know how we're just trading back and forth as we are here. This has happened in the past. Such as right here, we were just going back and forth. It finally hit the resistance point, this line, and then we saw a sharp selling of downwards movement. The next thing that I want to look at is the dollar index. Ticker symbol is DX. As we can see, I'm very satisfied with my predictions here on this one. This has gone down as I have expected. Just recently, there was a breach within the dollar, and then it went back into this channel. People may have thought and took advantage of this being oversold, and it was at one point, because if we look at my MACD and stochastic full, I was finally able to merge these two together. We can see that it was at 82.75%, which means normally we should see a sharp downwards move. And so that's a good indicator of how people sell short or sell long in the markets. They look at the MACD, which is taking the average of the buying and selling of stocks versus the volume. And so the low on this one was about $78.48. I was very close. I predicted earlier that it was gonna go to 77.69, but I was about 1 point off, which is no big deal. And the reason why the dollar got strong is because if you look at current events, during this time, after the EXP 500 hit resistance level along with the Dow, we had a wave of a media shock. First, Fitch and S&P downgrade Spanish banks, and this came out February 13th. Then we had Moody's issue credit warnings on 9 European countries, including the UK. And then we have Greece still to convince Europe over rescue deals, along with S&P downgrades of 34 Italian banks after reducing national ratings. And so we had a wave of negative ads along with Greece burning down, which I think it was like 54 buildings. And so that's why we're seeing a nice pop in the dollar. And so I think this is probably going to be the low point right there. I can't really see this going any lower, only because people in Europe are freaking out right now. And so I think this is going to go back up. We're probably going to have to retest the highs of $82.04, and then we'll have to see if this can go up to $84. But I really do think the dollar's going to go up to $82 in the long run. So you might want to keep an eye on that, and if you want to, you might want to invest in dollars right now, because it has broken the resistance line, and it's looking forward like it's going to go up. And right now it's at 50%, around 50%, and so hopefully we can see a nice back up to like the highs of 87.73% according to my MACD and stochastic full line. And then when that happens, that's when you want to get out and sell. And this is according to the 4 hour chart. Look at the 1 hour chart. It's pretty low too. It's at 35.48. So I really think the only place that this can go is up. Which brings me to the S&P 500. If we look at the S&P 500, super resilient. As I stated, I made my investment at $13.45. Of course, I got stopped out because my stop was put at $13.55, so I lost about 10 points there. Small loss, no big deal. Well, kinda. Lost about $20 on that bet, hoping that'll go down, but it didn't. And so what ended up happening was that right here, it was looking good. It got out of its line right here. The resistance line right there. However, it popped back up. And so we're going to have to try this again and make a short position at 1373. And also the reason why I invested in 1345 was because if you look at the Dow Jones average with the ticker symbol being DJI, when it was at 1345, the Dow was trading at, what is it, 12,892, and so I really didn't think we were going to take out this high. I thought we were going to have a huge battle between the bulls and the bears, which we kind of did. It's sort of like way back and forth, but we did breach this line, and so this just tells me that the markets are not following the Dow, they're probably following the S&P. And so I'm going to try this one more time for the EXP 500. Once it hits around 1370, I'm going to make one more try going bearish to see if this thing goes down. And if it keeps going up, hey, you just got to get out and protect your assets, because this thing could go out of control. I don't know. I don't think it will. Very low chance that it's going to breach 1373. But if it does, and it breach 5 points above that, you just got to protect your assets. And so that's the update today. I hope you learned something. Stay tuned for next week, and that's that. Goodbye.